It's summer 2005, and the Doctor Who team are battling with the elements to film the opening scene of the brand new series.
We're arriving on New Earth, which is the Gower Peninsula near Swansea, and it's blowing a gale.
Action!
What's the city called?
New York.
Come on.
It's just a face full of hair.
We were supposed to be here slightly earlier in the summer, and various shooting schedule things meant that we're a bit late. So it's a little bit more wintry than intended, but once the computer people have fiddled about with it, it's going to look extraordinary, I'm told. Obviously, what you bring to it is yourself, and that happens for free. You know, you don't have any choice about that.
He's a very different man because he's being played by a different man, and David brings a completely different energy to it.
So where are we going?
Further than we've ever gone before.
I think he's probably a more verbal Doctor.
Strictly speaking, it's the 15th New York since the original.
He's got very big, lengthy speeches, lots of runs of words.
So that makes it new New York.
He's quite chaotic, and he's very energetic.
As long as I am, isn't it?
There are flashes of darkness to the character.
What's the turnover? 1,000 a day, 1,000 the next, 1,000 the next. How many thousand? For how many years? How many?
And so there's a lot of kind of lulling an audience into him being a lovely, kind of interesting, fascinating character. And then you absolutely see what the moral line is.
I'm the Doctor. And if you don't like it, if you want to take it to a higher authority, there isn't one. It stops with me.
He has to be a good guy. He has to be heroic. He has to be morally impregnable.
We can't let a single particle of disease get out. There is 10 million people in that city. They'd all be at risk. Now turn that off!
Not if it gets me out.
All right, fine. So I have to stop you lot as well.
And beyond that, it's a kind of evolving thing. But ultimately, the script is always what you've got to go on. You know, if I suddenly decided I want to play it with a limp, and the script had me running up and down corridors, then that's not going to work. You know.
We're doing a sequence in the lift shaft in the hospital on New Earth. There's the moment where the Doctor and Rose first arrive in the building, walk into the lifts.
Ward 26, thanks.
And this postmodern disinfection sequence happens.
Hold on!
Oh, too late. I'm going up.
All right, there's another lift.
Which, of course, the Doctor knows all about, and Rose doesn't.
Watch out for the disinfectant.
For the what?
The disinfectant.
The what?
Oh, you'll find out.
It means that both Billie and David have to get soaking wet, covered in talc, and blown dry several times.
Yeah, whistling in the shower, go on.
The first time we did it, it was great because the water was all warm and lovely. But with every successive take, it's getting colder and colder as they refill the tank in a hurry.
Cut!
You crook.
Thank you.
I couldn't hear what you were saying, James.
It's all right, love, it was fine.
It's quite a silly thing to do, really, to stand in your clothes and get soaking. It was a lot wetter than I was expecting.
I also wanted to do a story with the body swapping as a chance for the Doctor to be funny.
A minute!
Not till you get out of her.
We need the Doctor.
I order you to leave her!
I always sort of said you don't have to impersonate her. You have to be a Rose version of Cassandra and a Doctor version of Cassandra, in that their essence is still in there.
No matter how difficult the situation, there is no need to shout.
And also a chance for the Rose to be funny.
Curves. Oh, baby. It's like living inside a bouncy castle.
Billie and David both do it brilliantly. I mean, they took enough of Cassandra's traits, inspired by the performance that Zoe Wanamaker had already given to Cassandra.
Ooh.
The body language changes, the voice changes.
Oh, my God. I'm a champ.
The whole expression of Billie's face changes.
Lady killer.
And she becomes this pouting, flirtatious, terrifying female creature.
Who are you?
The last human.
Cassandra.
Wake up and smell the perfume.
Billie does it so brilliantly for quite a long time, and then, so I don't think you're then expecting that the Doctor will get possessed too.
I'm in my head.
It's an homage to Ms. Wanamaker, and I think she'll be proud.
Cassandra?
Goodness me, I'm a man. Yum.
I hope she will. She'll probably murder me the next time she sees me.
So many parts, and hardly used.
Just to remind you all, this is absolute terror. If your stomach's churning, your
bladders loosening. It's just giving you the willies, okay? So screams, just give it your all this time.
Okay, here we go then. Nice and quiet, please.
I think Tooth and Claw has very simply the essences of a scary story. It's an old house, it's creaking in the wind, it's a full moon, you're on moorland, a monster in the cellar, everyone's tied up, you're trapped in the house. If you step outside the house, you get shot by a monk. Not often that happens, but once you once you trap them in an enclosed space, then it's very classic storytelling. It's classic Doctor Who in many ways.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2.
The most regular device I can think of in terms of scaring kids or scaring the audience is actually the monster is already here. Just that moment, that monster is already in here with us.
All of you, stop looking at him. Flora, don't look. Listen, you grab onto the chain and pull.
The anticipation of the arrival of the monster and the realization you're no longer waiting. It's here. It's right among us. It scares me just to think about it.
Okay, so he'll look up and open his eyes, and then 2 bits after that, we'll open the doors.
Tooth and Claw ultimately is very scary. I mean, I think some of the transformation of the werewolf, which of course has all been added and augmented in post-production, is he's pretty horrific in a very good way.
It starts off as a character called the Host who turns into the werewolf. In order to perform the transformation, we will be filming the Host in the cage against a green screen.
So all you need to see then is the face and the hand. From my point of view.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Starting to change. Excellent. Well done, Tom. Very good.
We'll also film various elements of the cage, lifting up with a guy in a green suit, so that we can, rub him out and put a werewolf in. During the scene, Tom is going to change into the werewolf. So at a certain point, we have to lose Tom and replace him with a kind of a half-changed version of Tom. And to do that, we've scanned Tom's head into the computer, and we'll combine that with our werewolf model, just to sort of have those kind of intermediate stages of the werewolf as it pops, changes.
The blue ball thing on the stick on Josh's head is the werewolf's head, and it may look comical, but just remember that you're absolutely terrified of this thing.
When you do CGI stuff or green or blue screen or whatever, you don't always have something just as helpful as the man Josh was today. It was a huge help for all of us to focus in the one place, and it also gave it a sense of scale, which I think we wouldn't otherwise have had, because you had that extension on with the ball at the top to give us a notion of what height the creature had become.
It was in our brief that we discussed with Russell was that we wanted it, the scale of it was 9 foot tall, quite a big build set. It felt really menacing. When we started drawing it, we realised that the head was wolf, the hands were wolf hands, the feet were like wolf claws, and then all around the middle bit was more human.
But do all these effects push the fear factor too far?
As we were making it, we were getting a bit worried, is this going to be stepping over the line for a show that goes out at 7 o'clock for the whole family to watch together? And I think when we finally watch the whole thing come together, it just hits the right balance.
I'm not qualified to know whether it's a good or a bad thing that children like scary things, but it's an undeniable, unquestionable fact that they do.
We were very lucky to have gotten David Foreman, who'd kind of been working on the Batman Begins movie, and he'd got lots of experience in Hong Kong street fighting and martial arts. So kind of finding him and bringing him on board was a key decision.
Eros, our director, wanted these monks to be very slick and something that the farmhands had never seen before.
This is crazy stuff. These are peaceful monks who are beating up your man. It's mental.
I chose a mix of fighting arts. One was wushu, which is very good for the stick work, and the other fighting arts were just a mix of lots of different martial arts put together. What's the vote? 2 against 1, yeah? Yeah. Right.
It's the 23rd of August 2005, and Elizabeth Sladen is shooting her first scene on Doctor Who for almost 30 years.
It's like my past life is running through my mind at the moment, and it's embarrassing with what clarity it comes back, actually.
When I hear her voice, it's sort of 27 years ago and I'm eating cheese on toast with the family watching Doctor Who as a kid.
Action!
We need to run. Where is it? What have you done?
A lot of people will be quite amazed to see her. It's like she hasn't aged.
Cut!
The mood on set is just totally Doctor Who.
Liz, could you just let David slam the door before your line? No,
Everyone is enjoying being here. That feels totally the same.
David, can you squeeze a bit longer on the sonicking for me?
It's just bigger.
Where's K9?
You need to run.
Where is he? What have you done?
Cut! And for Liz's first shot, I think...
Welcome back, Sarah Jane.
The main thing about bringing back Sarah Jane is that we thought of a great story. That's always the most important thing, right? Never mind the past and never mind what it means to other generations, things like that. There's a great, great story to be told.
Action.
Hello, Sarah Jane.
It's you. Oh, Doctor. Oh, my God, it's you, isn't it?
One of the things about the Doctor is that he goes through life picking people up and moving on, you know, and that's never really examined in the show.
Did I do something wrong? Because you never came back for me. You just dumped me.
Like an old girlfriend, you know, they split up. The Doctor dumped her. And years later, they meet up again. And where are they left with that? And how does that affect you if you've been travelling through time and space?
You took me to the furthest reaches of the galaxy. You showed me supernovas, intergalactic battles, and then you just dropped me back on Earth. How could anything compare to that?
Sarah Jane's quite bitter. She's not particularly pleased about how her life turned out.
He really did love her, but he really has never been back to see her.
I waited for you. I missed you.
And then you have to ask yourself, why? Why does he live a life like that?
Oh, you didn't need me. You were getting on with your life.
You were my life.
If you imagine that as a story about a man going from woman to woman to woman, it's a very interesting, emotional story.
Who's she?
Rose, Sarah Jane. Sarah Jane, Rose.
Hi. Nice to meet you. You can tell you're getting older. Your assistants are getting younger.
I'm not his assistant.
No. I get you, Tiger.
As ever with any story, you're sort of looking at what the Doctor and Rose's relationship is, so some new slant or some new light on that story, and it's hard to think up new elements of story, and so Sarah Jane brings in jealousy, which we've never had before.
And it's certainly a very difficult position for Rose, who hadn't, I don't think until this point, really thought this through, that there were other ones before her.
How many of us have there been travelling with you?
Does it matter?
Yeah, it does, if I'm just the latest in a long line.
As opposed to what?
In School Reunion, there's the realisation that possibly life with the Doctor was not forever.
I thought you and me were... I obviously got it wrong.
The journey that Rose is taking, Sarah has already done.
I've been to the Year 5 billion, right? But this... Now, this is really seeing the future. You just leave us behind. Is that what you're going to do to me?
No, not to you.
What Sarah Jane does for Rose in the story is to give her a new perspective on life with the Doctor, and this time it's not necessarily a good perspective, it's the fact that this cannot last.
But Sarah Jane, you were that close to her once, and now... You never even mention her.
This is the Doctor. This is what he does. He will go on.
As the series goes on, we see what Rose's resolve is to how to deal with that.
You can spend the rest of your life with me. But I can't spend the rest of mine with you. I have to live on. Alone.
Life for the Time Lord cannot be forever, that he will outlive you no matter what.
That's the curse of the Time Lords.
We briefly touched on earlier on that we'd look into the possibility of actually going to Versailles.
My favourite part of the script-to-screen journey, I mean, there are lots of bits, actually, but my favourite part is when you get that first script and it's good.
It's like getting the latest instalment of this adventure that's kind of a big part of my life. So it's really exciting getting it and kind of flicking through the pages as quick as I can.
Your second read is, of course, always about, oh God, how do we achieve this? And you start to break it down. And that's exciting because it's the job. And that's when you get to really admire the crew and their expertise and how they come together to make something possible.
When you see a fireplace on this spaceship, you have to think this isn't just some novel feature. This isn't like, ooh, original feature is very nice. It is not meant to be there.
The tone meeting has become, how are we going to make this episode meeting, really. It's the only time everybody sits around the table at the same time, every stage in the development of the episode, and talk about what we're all trying to do.
It's just to get everyone singing from the same song sheet, really, and then that's how I think it works, those tone meetings, because that's how we get such a coordinated end result.
Hello,
you like that?
Thank you. We've got scribbles. But before filming begins, the team hold a read-through to make sure everything goes according to plan.
The read-through for me is terrifying because it's the moment where you get a sense of what is really coming. And you know in that moment, largely, if something is going to work or not.
Hello, everyone! You just feel the pressure to kind of nail it there and then. Of course, that pressure doesn't exist because ultimately all that matters is what is finally in the can. But because it's the first time you're all kind of doing it together in a room, you want to kind of get it right. You want to impress everyone. You want everyone to like you.
Doctor Who? It's more than just a secret, isn't it? For me, it's always terrifying because it's the first time you've ever read in front of anyone, and also because I didn't audition for this job. I was offered it straight out, and I suddenly thought, God, what if I turn up to the read-through and read it and think, oh, actually, she's...
What did you see?
That there comes a time, Time Lord, when every lonely little boy must learn how to dance.
For us, it's the final dotting the I's and crossing of the T's. That's where you do final rewrites. Often you can come out and read through, change lines or realise you haven't said something or have a word with the director about the emphasis of a certain scene. It's your final chance before it's all put through in the edit just to make sure everything's working.
One of the things you're trying to do all the time in popular television is give reasons for people not to turn off. Right? You imagine the audience sitting down and thinking, oh, I'll watch 2 minutes and I'll go. And you think, well, if I can just keep eking out the reason to keep watching, I'll maybe get them 45 minutes through the show. So you're playing that game. So at that moment in the show, when we think we've got the hang of what's going on, it's starting to become a bit clearer. He walks in and he's face to face with the horse.
The doctor on horseback
Yes.
bursting through a mirror into a ballroom.
You said it was easy, Dave.
This is the kind of climactic scenes in episode 4 where I come through a mirror on a horse, as you do, trot around a bit and save the day again, you know. So that's what we're doing today. It's all fairly extraordinary because it's such a big deal with all this extra crowd and the mirror breaking. Of course, the horse isn't actually here because the horse isn't allowed in this hall. So the horse has to be on a different day, and it's all one of those, everything has to be put together piece by piece.
It was terribly complicated because we had to shoot elements at Ragley Hall itself with extras reacting to the doctor and the horse.
And crash!
We had to do a separate shoot of the mirror exploding with blue glass. And then we had to shoot on a third day with David and a horse and a stuntman in a paddock that we had to deck out completely in green and turn into a green screen studio. As you can probably imagine, that was terrifically expensive. All of that said, I do think you're not going to see a horse jump through a mirror into a period ballroom every Saturday night.
We brought the Cybermen back because I think you should always bring back the great, good, iconic Doctor Who monsters.
It's working. I hardly think working is the correct word.
There's a very powerful businessman called John Lumick who runs Cybers Industries, who is dying and is using all his technological might to find ways to upgrade, the human body, to find a form that means that his brilliant brain can survive.
The brain has been welded to the exoskeleton.
You are John Lumick.
Skin of metal and a body that will never age or die. I envy it.
The whole point of his existence is to create this
creature that is made of metal to give human beings longevity, to last forever.
And to survive into the 21st century, these metal monsters had to look the part.
In many ways, they look like something made in a science fiction program in the year 2006.
We just started the way we do with anything, which is do drawings and pictures and work from there and present them up. They had to be Cyberman for the 21st century. Also, they have to look really like metal. Russell really wants them to look machined.
One of the most important things, in my mind, was to stop calling them silver. Steel. That's what they're made of. That's really what they always were made of, I think, in my mind.
No one person sort of designed it. It really was a team effort.
I love them. I think they're absolutely gorgeous.
An idyllic country home in the tranquil Welsh countryside. It's a cold and misty Monday in the sleepy Vale of Glamorgan, and preparation is underway for the social event of the century. It all seems to be going to plan, but not for long.
Nothing better than a party that turns into a death trap.
In that survey.
Do you want to know what's going on? Work in the kitchen.
It's the whole thing started to come together in this script. The Cybermen were 40 years old, and we wanted a very rich Jackie, and they started to go, oh, actually, what if it's her 40th?
Now, I'm not giving a speech.
What better thing could happen than the French windows are smashed in by great big monsters? And they were invaded by Cybermen, which is lovely.
Did you get hit there?
No, not really.
Time for the Cybermen to take centre stage. And the job of creating that spine-chilling voice lies with one man and his microphone.
Here I am with my lip mic and my ring modulator here. I hear their lines coming in here. I speak into here. It comes out in a speaker over there.
Is compulsory.
3, 4, 5, take 2, camera mark. Action.
You are not compatible. What happens then? You will be deleted.
3, take 3.
The main unit is filming Maureen Lipman as The Wire inside the old TV studio, where she would actually have done it if she'd really been Sylvia Peters or one of those people.
Oh, dear. Has our little plan gone horribly wrong, Doctor? This is the place where television began, and so it historically, you can smell the buzz in this room. You really can feel the electricity.
The role of The Wire in episode 7 is based on the archetypal BBC presenter, and everything's incredibly proper. We wanted an actress who'd have some fun with it, but who'd also be able to command authority and be properly scary. And Maureen Lipman combined those two things perfectly.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin. It's quite good to be able to just go around the Cornwall Valley Pally and be absolutely nasty, really horrible, horrid.
I knew as soon as she said, I shall consume you, Doctor, that she knows what to do in these circumstances.
Mark was on set a lot of the time, which is just wonderful to have the writer there. You can never go back, that's your tragedy. That's personal to Magpie?
No, it's about
the general for the world.
Yeah,
they're
forging ahead regardless of consequence, I think.
Mark writes these fantastic characters like Magpie.
Please, you're burning me inside, behind my eyes.
There's a goodness that comes out in his characters there. There's a marvellous faded elegance about Magpie.
He describes, this man who's kind of been disappointed by life. He's sat there in his vest, kind of in his little shop. And it's incredibly evocative and incredibly detailed.
Well, the thing is, Detective Inspector Bishop, how do you know my name? It's written inside your collar.
There's a particular scene between Bishop and the Doctor, which is an interrogation scene, and it's essentially an inversion joke. He starts with a light in the Doctor's face, saying, tell me everything you know, and by the end the Doctor is standing up and he's sitting down, and the Doctor's saying,
start from the beginning. Tell me everything you know.
It was just trying to work out what the tipping point was where the Doctor could rise and Bishop would sit down.
Quickly, where was she before this happened?
Seeing it realised is always a curious one. It's never quite the way you imagine.
This is the scene of my death, where I get fried, because I suddenly then, having been the intermediary of
I'm the servant of the monster, of Maureen Lipman. Well, she orders me to kill Doctor Who, and I say, no, I'm not going to do it. And she fries me with electric pulses and things like that.
You promised me peace!
Then peace you shall have.
Magpie's on that bit, isn't he, at this point? We're shooting on the helipad in Cardiff today. There are a few technical issues with when we're looking down on the transmitter. You know, we need to contain the actors within a green screen. It's a composite shot involving 2 or 3 elements, you know, a matte painting based on a live-action element of Alexandra Palace, shots of the Doctor and Magpie on a part of the transmitter.
I was expecting it would be one of those days when you were harnessed up with endless kind of safety wires, which is always a bit boring, frankly. But because we were only on a stretch of full pylon, which was only about 20 feet tall, we were allowed to climb up and down it relatively freely. Just climbing, there's no lines in this bit, is there?
No. You become very precious about lines, particularly lines you love, and it's always awkward if you feel they've gone. But in the end, you know, it's not cut for malicious reasons.
There was a lot of wonderful stuff in Mark's script which didn't make the final cut just because there was too much of it. There's some fantastic speeches that I had that we just never got to film because it was such a rich and full episode.
Cutting stuff is just an economy, and it's a briskness, and it's a confidence, actually. It says this is working.
Well, that natural enemy of all writers is blank paper. It's what offends us and scares us the most in the whole world.
The best way to overcome it, I found, is just to write, and it means you write quite a lot of nonsense at first, but you just have to kind of plough through that.
In any other drama, you type scene 1, day, street, or scene 2, pub, scene 3, bedroom, and with Doctor Who, you're sitting there going, you could be on a space station or a different planet.
The brief was a 50s story, quite rock and roll.
Is there any other way to go, Daddy-O?
Squishiest and softest, rubberiest things. And the ears, you just want to bite them off.
And the back of the neck.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
Earthquake in 3, 2, 1. Earthquake!
Emergency hull bridge. Emergency hull bridge. Which section?
Everyone, evacuate 11 to 13. We've got a breach.
The Ood are down to Neil Gorton, really. I mean, you know, again, an incredible job, and I think one of our favourite monsters in the show.
The starting point really is script as always, and it says albino clone things with, I think Russell described it as mouths like sea anemones.
Fronds, I think I said. Fronds coming from the mouth.
Big red dangly things.
With a translation device in their hands.
And that was it, you know, so we did some doodles as usual and sent them off to Russell.
We hardly ever talk, me and Neil, just email all the time.
Literally, the first design Russell said, great. It was one of the lucky ones where it was all agreed really quickly.
I sent a quick description, he emailed back with the drawing, and he just went, oh yeah, that's it. I thought the fronds added to a ball would just get around mouth manipulation and mouth prosthetics.
We did one as an animatronic.
It makes the eyes blink and the forehead move, so it gives it facial expressions. So it's like having 2 remote control cars either side of my ears.
The eyes of the Ood weren't eye level. When the head's on, your eyes were kind of, the mouth was here, if you like. So effectively, the guys in the suits were blind.
They've got this group hive mind, which is one of servility. Actually, they need a function in life. They need to be given a function. So they're happy slaves.
So when they turn nasty, it's really scary.
Watch me tentacles. Yeah. They're very sensitive, you know.
They're a great design, the Ood. They're a bit like a squid, but they're rather kind of mushy and they're great to touch. You've got to touch an Ood head. There's something about the spongy kind of stuff that they use to make these things. They're very tactile.
And in creating the look of the impossible planet, the tone had to be set from the very start.
The big thing Russell said when we were having the tone meeting, really, from the start, was the word was tough.
The point of 8 and 9 is to go further with the TARDIS than we've ever gone before in terms of the threat and the danger. So I was always very careful. I always had this story in mind to go to one of those old-fashioned space bases where you can't take the air for granted and the water and the food, and they're absolutely remote. Pioneers.
The script called for this planet to be sort of really uninhabitable with this temporary base structure on it.
This wanted to feel real. It wanted to feel like these guys were working, as if they were working on an oil rig. It has to have a kind of feeling that what they're doing was very dangerous.
The planet's moving!
It's a working environment. It's not a very comfortable, glossy, futuristic sci-fi. It's real, gritty sci-fi, if you like.
Science fiction shows with ships like the Enterprise and stuff like that, they're all comfortable and marvellous. And then in real life, you look at something like the Mir space station or one of the space shuttles, and it's cramped and the food's rubbish and they're all bumping up against each other. So we wanted to put a bit of that into the Sanctuary Base 6 and say, actually, look what it's really like. It's not all anti-gravity and posh and shiny and beautiful. It's really hard work.
What's happening? Rose, what's going on? Come on! I can't contain the oxygen field. We're going to lose it.
I wanted the idea of it all to be sort of flapping and the noise and the wind running through there.
Rickety old tub, actually, that's what that base is meant to be, is rattling in the wind.
It's a dirty place. It's a dangerous place.
I think one of James Strong's greatest feats on this is to get smoke all the time. It is like the hell is underneath them. And every shot almost, there's some sort of smoke rising up in the background or the foreground. And I love that. It's so atmospheric.
Colours are very important. You establish the colour of the black hole, you know, and we decided that would be a red colour. And of course that affects the lighting coming through the walls and the windows.
I wanted CGI for this devil to give it a scale, to give it an inhumanity, to give it a mouth that you couldn't possibly make on a prosthetic.
One of the things we need to see is the size of this beast, which is going to be it's going to be kind of tower block size. In order to see that, we have to film it from the correct angles. We will shrink those shots down and make them a lot wider and bigger shots, and into which we'll put this creature.
At the end of the Satan Pit, when the devil is facing the Doctor, actually, he's an ordinary old Time Lord without his TARDIS, and there's nothing more important than the love of his best friend.
When he refers to his relationship with Rose, that's something very tangible, very real, and something that he absolutely will always believe in.
If I believe in one thing, just one thing, I believe in her.
His kind of default mechanism is to believe that everything has a scientific explanation.
If that thing had said it came from beyond the universe, I'd believe it, but before the universe, impossible.
I think he believes in what he can see and what he can understand and what is tangible.
That's partly why I wanted to do the Satan Pit, was to take a rational man and to challenge his beliefs.
What does before time mean?
Before time and light and space and matter. Before the cataclysm, before this universe was created.
That's impossible. No life could have existed back then.
Is that your religion?
It's a belief.
The best thing you can do with the Doctor, and the best thing you can do with an actor like David Tennant, to be honest, is to keep pushing the character, to put him in areas where he's not comfortable and to find out how the Doctor survives, because the Doctor under pressure is always the finest Doctor of all.
If you are the Beast, then answer me this. Which one? Because the universe has been busy since you've been gone. There's more religions than there are planets in the sky.
You start to see a Doctor that I think is wondering whether or not this is something so intangible. This is something that he can't understand, and therefore how can you defeat something you cannot understand?
This one knows me, as I know him.
Because he usually is the man with all the answers. To even entertain the fact that there might be something other, it unsettles him to have to even confront those issues, I think. And I think generally he avoids doing that.
Have I got to, I don't know, beg an audience? Or is there a ritual? Some sort of incantation or summons or spell? All these things I don't believe in. Are they real?
He gets down in that pit and there does seem to be something beyond his understanding. Something that is from beyond time, which he spent the last 2 episodes denying is possible.
I don't have to accept what you are, but your physical existence, I give you that.
So it shakes him and it worries him, and he doesn't find an explanation. And in the end, he chooses to not understand. Never did decipher that writing. But that's good. Day I know everything. Might as well stop.
Join us dissolve into me.
So that's how it flies.
It's like a childish dream come true to be in Doctor Who and to be an alien.
Give me the cane! Then he snaps it, and I go, damn you stupid man, no! And that's when I start getting sucked into the ground.
It's not that we got lots of time off while episode 10 was being filmed. We were doing episodes 8 and 9 at the time. So it was weird to think that there was a whole other unit out and around Cardiff.
He'll die.
Making an episode of Doctor Who that the
He'll
Doctor
die,
and Rose
Doctor.
that really had very little to do with.
I had to come up with a story that had to have a logical reason for not having much of the Doctor and Rose in it.
It's Mark Warren's episode. It's his story that we follow, and Billie and I are visiting guest artistes really.
He's a normal guy. He's a sweet guy. You know, he's quite wide-eyed and innocent, and he's just looking for the truth and trying to find out what happened to him when he was younger. You know, he thinks we'll find that by finding the Doctor, and I think he sees that finally, finds a bit of wisdom at the end. You know, it's like he sees the Doctor and becomes enlightened, I think. Well, that's what I'm playing anyway.
What appears as only a few seconds on screen actually involves an all-night shoot on the streets of Cardiff as Mark Warren begins his Doctor Who debut.
Today we've just done a scene where I'm walking by a load of shops and the window explodes and these autons come out.
I was stocking up, nothing special, all the usual stuff. When all of a sudden...
Susie, the girl that's lying down in front of the tables, can she be dead rather than agony? Actually still, totally still.
And I just had to run in front of that cab. But it's a stuntman called Billie, who I worked with before, actually. He has to come up quite fast, and you have to sort of, as long as you hit your mark, he promises he won't break your legs.
Again, one of the great things about Doctor Who is that it can embrace actors, every different type of actor. We can have someone like Pauline Collins or Simon Callow who are known as great proper actors. And then you can have Peter Kay, who's known as a comedian, a comic actor. And yet there's something about the elasticity of this show that it can take both of them on board, and it seems equally right.
Because it's some kind of herpes and it's took over my body. I don't know what it is. I'm like a walking, talking.
I'm not saying anything.
I
can't compete with
Look at me.
Well, first of all, I saw Peter Kay. That made me laugh. And then I saw Peter Kay in this big green fat suit with a big old Mohican that started here and ended up halfway down his back.
While the Abzorbaloff is in himself very funny, he's also very threatening. He also is a genuine danger and ruins Elton's life. So there is something genuine behind the Abzorbaloff, and I wanted that for Blue Peter as well.
Yes! No, that's not fair! It tastes like chicken.
Chloe, it's Rose, open up! We've got your ship, we can send you home! Chloe! Right, stand back.
I think she loves playing Rose with a pickaxe. You get to smash things, We all quite like, to have a wild time every now and again, and Billie's no different. Cut. Good.
Loved it.
The pickaxe is actually a real pickaxe handle. What we've done is we've made a lightweight version. It's still made of steel, still pretty sharp and dangerous, but it's just a lot more manageable. I told her just before to think of someone she hates, and it seemed to have done the trick.
Chloe!
I'm coming.
If he's not clever, I will let him out.
At the end of the episode, Chloe goes a bit mad and starts drawing all the continents and gets the world map and starts to draw the whole world map. And then the Doctor has to try and stop her.
The idea that this child is possessed and just frantically drawing pictures and having people disappear into the world of drawings That's horrible.
Look, I've got your pod. The pod is dead.
No, it just needs heat.
It needs more than heat.
Hold it there. Continue, Rory. Oh, yeah, and on we go.
Look, I've got your pod. The love of her life is still trapped in a drawing, and she sees no way out, and she's almost defeated.
I know how to charge up the pod.
But then there's this flicker of light and hope, and she gets the guy again.
The big pivotal scene in episode 11 where Chloe's been put into a trance. It's quite a straightforward scene because it doesn't involve CG particularly. It doesn't involve lots of actors. It's in a contained set in a warehouse. Okay, good. Let's try it again. But a scene like that is quite difficult because the emotion and the intensity of the performance is the key thing. So making sure that that the energy and the focus is there is really important. And focus. And action.
We've taken an endless journey, 1,000 of your lifetimes. But now I'm alone. I hate it. It's not bad. I hate it.
And we had all sorts of different ways that we were going to do something with Chloe, where she was going to speak with a deep voice and then a high-pitched voice. And I think what Eros has gone for with Chloe in the episode is really nice because it's at once sinister but also kind of full of loneliness.
Eros? It's one of the things that's most frightening in the world. It's someone you know, someone you love, changing and being different and having a different voice inside them.
It is quite unsettling because it's a little girl. It's not a big, powerful supervillain or some huge, slavering creature, but this is a little girl who looks like a little girl and it sort of acts like a little girl, but sort of doesn't.
Fear Her is quite old school Doctor Who. It's got a CG element, but the CG is very small in it. The main scares come from a psychological tension of what Chloe can do, and using very traditional tools of music, of composition, of characters disappearing off camera. That's how we've created the scares and the tension.
Snatching children from a thoroughly ordinary street like this. Why is it so cold? Is that reducing the temperature?
The music's a really fundamental part of the atmosphere of the whole show. Things to do with stylistic elements generally through the episode all contribute to this sort of strange quality that we call the atmosphere.
It was only a matter of time until you found us, and at last you've made it. I'd like to welcome you, Doctor. Welcome to Torchwood.
That's a Jathar Sunglider.
Came down to Earth off the Shetland Islands 10 years ago.
What, did it crash?
No, we shot it down. Violated our Earth.
I've got a dribbling nose. I'm really
Action.
Okay.
And again.
We're much closer.
That might have been my fault, because I asked Tracy Ann to push both doors. Because when I pushed my door, it felt like, why am I pushing a door in Torchwood?
As long as they both come together, and it should be her.
It's your fault, it's not mine.
It was only a matter of time until you found us, and at last you've made it. I'd like to welcome you, Doctor. Welcome to Torchwood.
A vast array of alien artifacts had to be created for episode 12, the most important of which is the sphere.
They're trying everything they can to get this sphere to open, and it won't open, but then one day, all these ghosts start arriving into the world. And we're into Ghost Ship.
Online.
You now know why you needed sunglasses. It's really, really blinding. Yeah, that's great. Mostly I would describe exactly where various things were going to happen within the set. And they had great use of their own imagination. Bright light, really, really bleaching out the room, and suddenly there are loads and loads of ghosts.
It's a chance to work with CGI and a lot of stuff that you can't see that you have to have in your imagination.
There are 30, 40, 50 of them. Ghosts, you've never seen them this amount before.
Achieving full transfer.
They're Cybermen. All of the ghosts are Cybermen. Millions of them. Right across the world.
We shot generic people against green screen. Dave Houghton, the effects supervisor, went through the script and worked out what angles and what kind of movements we needed to film.
Okay, so start to judder again. When you swipe this time, continue shuddering. So if you swipe now.
Who are you? Where are you coming from? Whoa! Like it? Not so friendly now, are you?
We were quite conscious not to make them too dissimilar from Cybermen, because we knew obviously they were going to materialise into them. But also we didn't want to give the game away either, so they had to be generic enough for all the characters in the show to assume they were the ghosts they wanted them to be.
10 past. Here he comes.
Jackie thinks it's her dead father, so the ghost effect needs to look human. At the same time, that's a cheat because we know from the script that it's going to be revealed that the ghosts are actually Cybermen. And of course we wanted to try to build to that huge cliffhanger.
It's a bit of a nightmare for the Doctor, of course, you know. The two greatest enemies, he's got to defeat them both.
You just think, we're bringing back the Cybermen, we've got the Daleks. I think that's exactly what an 8-year-old would do in their heads.
You know, in playgrounds across the country, since 1966, pretty much, people have said, who's best, Daleks and Cybermen? And now, finally, we get to find out.
Here we go, and action!
Get away from the machines! Do what they say!
Don't fight them! Don't shoot, they just know that jump!
Oh,
Suddenly I'm on set and there's the TARDIS and there's a Dalek and there's a Cyberman. I mean, it's really, really exciting.
I bumped into one on the way up because he was working out his moves down there, and I said, oh, sorry. And he just stared at me and turned. He didn't say anything, which just really shook me up even more. What a scaredy cat.
We're in the middle of the sequence towards the end of episode 13 where I've opened the void in reverse. Press the red button.
Breach active! It is the Doctor! Exterminate him!
The final scene in the lever room, to explain that, was a bit like putting a jigsaw puzzle together.
For us, really, it's kind of hanging on to metal bars and being blown around and screaming when you're told to. And looking at explosions which may or may not be there.
In order for Rose to fall, I had to have a set built that was turned round, so she's physically hanging. By the time we finish, you'll think she's horizontal. The way we continued her flying horizontal was put her onto a studio trolley. I used a slow-motion camera for that, so she screams, looking up towards the camera, screams, and slowly falls away. We then cut, as the second part of the jigsaw puzzle, back to scenes we did in the lever room. I thought the artists were terrific in it. I thought, it's going to make me cry. When Rose screams, her death scream as she knows she's about to die, go through that void. It is terrifying. It is absolutely tragic.
Systems closed.
It broke me up. Their performance, the reality of the way they played that sequence was absolutely extraordinary. You can see they almost look at each other, but they're only looking at empty space. It's an extraordinary I think they played that and performed that absolutely truthfully. It was a brilliant piece of work. You must not forget you've got actors who need to be allowed to perform. They take on board the technicalities of what you want to do, they rehearse the technicalities, and then there's a moment when they want you to shush and allow them to perform. And it is the artists, it's their moment.
Good, we've cut.
Smashing. I'm absolutely thrilled with that. It's good.
No, it's fine.
I was never tempted to kill her. We're here to tell optimistic, positive stories about the human race. And there are other science fiction stories in which you could have killed her, but Doctor Who is not about that. It's about survival and optimism, and it is never, ever, ever an option to kill her.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.